I'm Megan, 39. The harsh fluorescent lights cast a cold glow over the mahogany conference table I'd bought from a garage sale 15 years ago. It was like an old war horse, now witness to a battle that would change my life. Around the table sat my husband Dylan's entire family, their faces contorted with barely hidden glee. The old table, once a symbol of humble beginnings, now seemed to groan under the weight of their malice. "Let's start this emergency board meeting," declared my father-in-law, Henry, a 62-year-old former stockbroker with a bloated sense of self-importance. He puffed out his chest like a rooster about to crow. "We're here to discuss the future leadership of Solace Technologies." I sat quietly at the far end of the table, the seat they'd relegated me to, like an outcast. Dylan, 37, sat between his parents, avoiding my eyes. His silence was like a knife in my heart. "The motion is to remove Megan as CEO and bring in a more qualified candidate," Henry continued. "She's just a lucky housewife," scoffed my brother-in-law, Jake, 34, a failed entrepreneur who always thought he knew better. Right place, right time when Dylan's app took off. "Running a tech company? Come on." "I second that," added my sister-in-law, Lily, 32, a social climber who worked in public relations. "No offense, Megan, but you don't even have a business degree. You were making handmade candles on Etsy when Dylan met you." I pulled out my phone, the same one I'd used to build this company from the ground up, and sent a quick text to my assistant, Sarah. "Now, please. All in favor of removing Megan as CEO?" Henry asked, his hand shooting up first. One by one, the hands rose. Dylan's went up last, slowly, as if he was weighing his loyalty between me and his family. "Motion carried," Henry announced gleefully. "Now, for the new CEO, I nominate." Suddenly, everyone's phones buzzed simultaneously. Jake pulled out his phone, his face paling as he read. Confusion replaced the smugness on their faces. Sarah had sent them the original company registration documents, the old papers that held the truth like a well-kept secret. The founder's name on every single document was Megan Thompson. Not Megan Reed, my married name, not Dylan Reed. "I don't understand," Lily stammered. "This says the company was founded in 2009, but Dylan and Megan only met in 2016. "That's correct," I said calmly, speaking for the first time in what felt like an eternity. "I founded Solace Technologies 7 years before I met your son. Before I married into this family, before I was just a lucky housewife, as you put it." Henry's face turned an alarming shade of purple. But Dylan said. I turned to Dylan, who was studying the table like it held the secrets of the universe. That it was his idea, his company, his success. Silence filled the room. I stood up. "Perhaps we should discuss what really happened since we're having a board meeting." I walked to the presentation screen and connected my laptop. The first slide showed a photo of me from 2009. I was 22, fresh out of MIT with a computer science degree, my hair in a messy bun, surrounded by computer parts in my tiny studio apartment. 2009, I'm working 3 jobs to pay off student loans and coding at night. "Yes, Lily, I have a degree, just not in business." Next slide. 2010, I developed the compression algorithm that became the foundation of Solace Technologies. The patent is in my name, only my name. I clicked through slides showing the company's early days. Me at hackathons, pitching to investors who laughed at the young woman with big dreams. Me sleeping under my desk because I couldn't afford rent and office space. 2011 through 2015, I bootstrapped the company, writing every line of code in our core product. I made every client pitch. I worked day and night. The room was dead silent. 2016, I met Dylan at a tech conference. Solace was finally gaining traction. We had real employees and clients. Dylan was charming, supportive. Or so I thought. More slides showed our wedding, Dylan joining the company as VP of Marketing, and his family at company parties. What I didn't realize was that Dylan was slowly rewriting history. To his family, our friends, and even new employees, he became the founder, and I became the supportive wife who helped out sometimes. Dylan started to speak. "That's not." "Let me finish." I cut him off. I let it happen because I loved him. I was exhausted from years of fighting to be taken seriously as a female founder in tech. It was easier to let him be the face while I did the work. Jake protested. You don't do the work. You're always at home with the kids. I smiled coldly. You mean the home office where I still write code? The kids I arrange child care for during my 60-hour work weeks? The home where I take calls with our Tokyo team at 3 a.m. I pulled up another document on the screen. This is our Git repository history. 73% of the code has my username on it. Dylan's percentage? 0. Dylan finally spoke up. You manage your yoga schedule? I countered. Our CFO manages the business. Our CMO manages marketing. You have a title and a salary, nothing more. Henry exploded. How dare you? How dare I? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. How dare you attempt to remove me as CEO of my own company, the company I built from nothing, the company that employs all of you. Over the years, I've given jobs to your family out of kindness. Henry, you're on the board. Jake runs a satellite office. Lily is head of HR. All nepotism hires to keep family peace. I continued. I own 67% of this company. Dylan owns 15%. The rest of you, your shares combined don't even hit 10%. You literally cannot vote me out. Lily looked confused. Then why did you let us? Because I needed to know, I said quietly. I needed to see if my husband, the father of my children, would stand by me or throw me under the bus for his family's approval. You failed that test, Dylan. Dylan pleaded. Megan, I can explain. No need. I pulled up a document on the screen. This is a buyout offer from Microsoft, $800 million. I've been sitting on it for 6 months trying to decide. Watching you take credit for my work in every interview started to bother me, but I told myself it was for the family, for the company's stability. Henry's eyes lit up with greed. We should definitely discuss this. We won't be discussing anything, I interrupted. As of this moment, you're all fired. Jake jumped up. You can't fire us. We're family. You just tried to stage a coup, I pointed out. That's generally grounds for termination. Security is waiting outside to escort you from the building. Lily turned to Dylan. Do something. Dylan looked at me, and for the first time in years, I saw real fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing his job or status, but fear of losing me. Megan, please. Let's talk about this privately. We'll talk, I agreed, through lawyers. I want a divorce. The room erupted. Henry threatened lawsuits. Jake threatened to expose me. Lily just cried. My assistant, Sarah, appeared at the door with security. Miss Thompson, should I have them escorted out? Yes, please, I said. As security herded out my in-laws, Dylan lingered. The kids will be fine, I said. They'll have a mother who doesn't hide her accomplishments to protect male egos. That's worth more than an intact marriage built on lies. Dylan said quietly, I never meant for it to go this far. At first, it was just easier to let people assume. And then you started believing your own lies. I finished. You actually thought you built this, that you deserved the credit. I love you, he said. You love the idea of me, I corrected. The supportive wife who makes you look good. But you don't even know me. Did you know I'm keynoting at 3 conferences next month? That I just got invited to join the National Science Board? He left without another word. The divorce was messy, but quick. Dylan tried to claim half the company as marital property, but my lawyer showed the judge the incorporation documents predating our marriage by 7 years. Dylan got his 15% and a generous settlement. I got my freedom and the buyout offer from Microsoft, which I turned down. Instead, I took Solace Technologies public. On the opening day, we hit a $2 billion valuation. My 67% stake made me one of the wealthiest self-made women in tech. The Reed family tried to sue for wrongful termination but lost. They tried to smear me in the press, but tech journalists who'd been following my work for years laughed at the idea that I was just a lucky housewife. 6 months after the divorce, I was at a women in tech conference when a young founder approached me. Miss Thompson, I just wanted to say thank you. Your story gave me the courage to fire my co-founder. I got our biggest client the next day. Good for you, I said, meaning it. That night, in my new apartment overlooking the bay, I video called my kids. My daughter, Ava, 12, said, "Mom, Dad says you stole the company from him." I asked, "What do you think?" She replied, "I think Dad couldn't steal something that was already yours. Plus, I Googled it. Your name is on everything from before you even met Dad." I smiled. When did you get so wise? When I realized I was turning invisible, too. Every time I did well in math, people said I got Dad's brains, even though you're the one with the MIT degree. I assured her, "You're not invisible to me." She grinned. "That's why I'm going to be like you, the real you, not the pretend housewife version." I corrected her gently. That version wasn't pretend. I am a wife and mother. I'm just also a CEO and inventor. Women can be multiple things. Yeah, Ava grinned. We can be everything. 2 years later, Solace Technologies hit a $5 billion valuation. I was on the cover of Forbes, Fortune, and Wired in the same month. The headlines all mentioned that I was a single mother, but they led with my innovations, my leadership, my vision. The Reed family meeting was meant to diminish me, but instead, it freed me. No more hiding. No more letting others take credit. The old mahogany table, once a symbol of a battle, now stands in a storage room, a relic of a past I've left behind. But sometimes I miss those early days, just me, my code, and a dream. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Sarah about another acquisition offer, this time from Google. I smiled and texted back, "Schedule a meeting." And Sarah, "Make sure the conference room has better chairs than that old table. We're not a garage startup anymore."